The topic for today is classification of malocclusion. So going ahead with the contents, we will be covering the topic under the following headings: introduction, need for classification, classification of malocclusion, and conclusion. The beginning of wisdom is to call things by their right name is an old Chinese proverb. So let's go ahead and find out what is malocclusion. So malocclusion is a developmental condition. Any perversion or variation from normal occlusion of teeth is called as malocclusion. Why is classification required? Classification is grouping of clinical cases similar in appearance for ease in comparison, handling and discussion. So questionnaire, interview, clinical examination and diagnostic records will all converge towards a database which will help us in classifying a problem list and finally lead to the diagnosis. So classification is needed for ease of reference, comparison and communication. Classification systems. Engel's system of classification was the first one which was given in 1899. It is the first and the most important. The principles underlying Engel's classification are: it is based on antero-posterior relationship of the dental arches. The maxillary permanent first molar is considered as the key tooth. It is based on the relationship of first molar and the line of occlusion. So these photos show this is class 1 malocclusion, this is class 2 malocclusion and this is class 3 malocclusion. Engel created 4 different groups. The first one is the normal occlusion, which refers to normal antero-posterior relationship between maxilla and mandible, suggestive of normal molar relationship, and line of occlusion is a smooth, continuous and symmetric curve. So first one being the class 1 malocclusion, which is suggestive of variation from normal. So normal antero-posterior relationship of teeth between maxilla and mandible, normal muscle function and normal molar relationship. Now normal molar relationship means that the mesobuccal cusp of the upper first permanent molar will occlude with the mesobuccal groove of the lower first permanent molar. So variation from the normal suggests bimaxillary protrusion in which the entire dentition is forward, open bite in which abnormal perioral musculature is present, sometimes deep bite in which overbite is increased, sometimes situations in which there is overt crowding. Class 2 malocclusion is the occlusion in which lower dental arch is in distal relationship to the upper dental arch. Mandibular first molar receives distobuccal cusp of the maxillary first molar. So the maxillary molar tooth is ahead of its normal position. There are 2 divisions. Division 1 in which class 2 molar relationship is present. Upper teeth are proclined, shape of the maxillary arch is V-shape and abnormal muscle activity is present. Class 2 division 1, this is a picture of a classical case in which molar relationship is class 2, distobuccal cusp goes into the groove of the lower mesobuccal groove and the upper incisors are proclined, suggestive of an increased overjet. Division 2, class 2 molar relationship is present, lingually inclined upper centrals and labially tipped upper lateral incisors are present, wide maxillary arch and there is forced retrusion of the mandible. So this is a classical case of class 2 division 2 malocclusion in which the upper incisors are retroclined and laterals are proclined. Sometimes there is only class 2 molar relationship present on one side and the other side there is class 1 molar relationship present. So in this situation there is subdivision. We always refer to subdivision side as the side on which class 2 molar is present. So it can be class 2 division 1 subdivision or it can be class 2 division 2 subdivision. Class 3 malocclusion, the situation in which the mandibular dental arch is in mesial relationship to the maxillary dental arch. The mesobuccal cusp of the maxillary first permanent molar occludes in the distobuccal groove of the lower first permanent molar. And mandibular incisors are in a crossbite relationship or may be inclined lingually. So maxillary arch also may be constricted. Sometimes there is a situation in which occlusal imbalance is there, enlarged tonsils or adenoids are there. Sometimes premature loss of deciduous posteriors may force the patient to position the mandible in the forward direction, suggestive of a pseudo class 3 malocclusion. Similarly, as class 2 malocclusion, there can be subdivision suggestive of class 3 molar relationship on one side and class 1 molar relationship on the another side. So these are the pictures of the molar relationships of class 1 molar, class 2 and class 3. So this is class 2 molar relationship, this is class 3 molar relationship. There is an increased overjet in the class 2 molar relationship, there is reduced overjet or negative overjet in class 3 malocclusion. Finally, coming to the disadvantages of Engel's classification, antero-posterior relationship is considered but not vertical and transverse. First permanent molars are considered to be the fixed points, cannot be applied if the first molars are missing, cannot be applied to deciduous dentition, no differentiation between skeletal and dental malocclusion, individual tooth malocclusion is not considered. Thank you.